Hello YouTube and welcome to GrunfWorks. This is episode 75 of the Interplanetary Voyage of Exploration. And today is the big day. Duna to Kerbin transfer window is only 2 days away, which means it is time for our hero, Jeb, to go home. Finally. So let us go to the Duna orbital station where he is currently located. Hey there, buddy. How are you doing? Are you ready to go home? Yeah, I know, you have been so long, so far out. I can only imagine how long it has been for you. So, making final preparations, just checking that we have all what we need. Fuel, I guess, monoprop, liquid fuel oxidizer, I guess, water, everything that we can possibly need. I'm just making sure that we are well supplied, and once we do that, we will decouple and we will be leaving Lathe, Duna orbital station. Yeah, sorry, my mind is still in the previous episode, which I recorded just moments ago. So, yeah. Anyway, disconnecting or decoupling from the Duna orbital and closing the shield, and time to leave. Finally, time to go home, Jeb. This mission has been long enough in the making. So, yes, let's see. I believe I'm just slightly increasing my orbit not to collide with the space station, and now I'm just trying to figure out what's my ejection angle, and I'm just gonna input parameters in my precise node, hopefully get a near Kerbin encounter. So prograde, normal, radial, yeah, and let's try and get the correct angle, and yeah, focus on Kerbin. Beautiful. Seems that we are getting a very nice Kerbin encounter, so I'm just fiddling a little bit with our maneuver node, so 669, which is kind of cool because if you remember, we have spent lots and lots of fuel in the orbit around Duna and also at Gilly, and we have completely exhausted our fuel supply from the Duna orbital station. So I was actually concerned if we would have enough fuel to come back home, and it's 1,188 meters per second that we have, and this burn will be 669. So given like maybe additional 100 plus or minus for fixing the orbit, I think we will have just enough to be safely arriving at Kerbin, which is great. I mean, probably we will be flying in on vapors, but I really don't care. As long as Jeb gets back safely home, that's the only thing that matters. I mean, I realize that it's been many episodes. I mean, we are, after all, at 75 episodes out, and it's only now we are returning the first manned missions. But that's what happens when you play with Kerbal Construction Time. Time is passing, and if you really want to run it like the agency, there are many missions until this happens. However, that being said, I will accelerate a little bit my interplanetary missions, because simply, I mean, otherwise we'll do so few of them in a series that is called Interplanetary Voyage of Exploration. I mean, that just sounds wrong. I will still continue to do moon and Minmus missions mainly, and some orbital, but yeah. Perfect. So, ladies and gentlemen, we actually do have a transfer and we have a Kerbin encounter. So let us just quickly close down all the experiments and let us appreciate the view of Jeb's advanced lander leaving Duna. So, getting a glance of Duna for the one final time. Yeah, for us we have only seen Jeb coming and going and landing and stuff. But yeah, for Jeb it has been so long time that he's really longing for some fresh snacks. After all, couple of years, yeah, long enough. Bye, Duna, and thank you for the science. Beautiful, isn't it? Okay, and bye, Ike, and thank you for the unexpected science. We still got some nice science off Ike, and right now I'm just accelerating until I get to the transfer, Duna escape, and I want to make sure to cross it at 1 time times acceleration, otherwise we are kind of risking to mess up our Kerbin encounter, which I definitely don't want. So let's see. Waiting patiently as we see Kerbin, and yes, we have Kerbin encounter. Great, that pretty much means that our Kerbin encounter is perfect, so yes. Quick saving in case the Kraken hits, and let us now go back to our Lathe probe. Well, this Lathe probe, in the previous episode we got it captured in the orbit around Lathe. It's a Joule Nuke probe 2, and we have already transmitted some science back from the orbit around Lathe, but now the main goal I guess would be to actually reduce our periapsis and get the science from in orbit low around Lathe. So yes, reducing our orbit to some, I don't know, I'm guessing maybe 60-ish. Should be more than enough to be able to get some low Lathe science. And yeah, the burn will execute in 1 hour and 20 minutes. I guess our program is finally starting to live up to its name, Interplanetary Voyage, because until now it has been mainly planetary voyages. I mean, sure, Eve and Duna, but those are also close. It was about time that we seek further pastures, or greener pastures. Given the fact that Jules is green, yeah, I never thought about it that way. Alright. So, going to the orbit around Joule, or not the orbit around Joule, but just making a pass towards the apoapsis where we will burn to reduce our periapsis. And I really like what Astronomer did for the clouds, that they are like luminescent during the night. It's one thing that makes actually Lathe really stand out. It's really beautiful. Perfect. Our periapsis is at 59, and yes, so let us go to the periapsis and just gather all the sweet science from orbit low around Lathe, I guess. Perfect. And I'm just now not wasting any time because I want to play whack-a-mole with my probe, and I was once again forgot to be actually. I thought I was sending the data. Well, silly me. So gravity, and yeah, just we are passing over some small landmass, and obviously it warrants additional set of science, which is only fitting, I guess. So yeah, it was good that we passed landmass while we were low over Lathe, otherwise this would have been a much more boring pass. So yeah. Alright, going up, and let's see if we do collect a little bit more or not. Reviewing the data, and once again sending all data for which I can get 100%, which is not that much, but yeah, well, discard that data, keep, send. Send. I'm just waiting until first batch finishes to send the second one, because, well, I don't want to risk my science getting diminishing returns. We need every single bit of science, because if you remember, when we were setting up this save, we said slightly less science returns, and we're also playing with Adio's tech tree, which requires a lot more science than the stock tech tree. So, resetting my experiments, and they're getting reset. Nothing really special here, so yeah. Retoggling everything, and perfect. So let's see if we have some more science to actually do, or is this what we were supposed to do? So let's just see. I'm now trying to fiddle a little bit to see if I can get a maneuver where I would eject around Lathe and maybe encounter some other planetary body. So now, and clearly I'm not the expert when it comes to ejections around Julian systems, so I'm just trying to figure out how would I do it. I'm basically trying to get, I guess, an encounter with Val, probably, or something. But I'm here trying to be opportunistic, so whichever encounter I get, I'll be happy. So let's looking at Joule to Kerbin once again, but I'm looking from a Joule orbit which is a little bit higher to see what the transfers are, because I set up the transfer from Joule 100 to Kerbin 100, which is, I guess, just kind of stupid because it doesn't make sense. So I'm thinking, let's go to Val, and I actually like this ejection because it will get me roughly in, I guess, Val orbit, but I'm also still trying to figure out how does this work. Okay, maybe like this. Yeah, I have to fiddle a little bit because I really don't get how is this happening. I get that I'm in elliptical orbit, but then these ejections are just strange to me. But I think I'm gonna run with that one anyway. Just execute the planned maneuver, and then we will be encountering Val maybe in 1 or 2 passes. So whatever. Let's just go with it, and in 51 minutes, perfect, orienting prograde, and we have a burn of, well, that's just wrong, 2,754? Nah, I'm not gonna spend that much, so let's re-eject here, and let's just see. Okay, clearly I have still a lot to learn. Let's see. Oh, well, that seems kinda nice. So, I actually decided I didn't want to bore you with me setting up the maneuver, which takes a lot of space. So I decided to set up a maneuver probably off camera, and then just I'll roll with it later. So, by the way, here is all the science that we managed to transfer from the orbit of Lathe, and it's 811. So it's actually quite a lot of science. So let us go and spend some science, shall we? So looking at the big picture, I'm trying to figure out what it is that I need the most. Advanced sensors? Nah, not just yet. They could be useful. I mean, some more science couldn't hurt. But fusion generators, that could give us a torch drive, but we don't have enough. Plasma rocketry. That would actually be kind of nice to start going to plasma thrusters, maybe. Other experimental thrusters, engine clusters too expensive, carbonite too expensive. Procedural controls, well, useless at the moment, but maybe, I don't know. Heavy booster, future spaceplane engines, that's one of the last things I will be researching actually. Material storage, even bigger fairings, well, that could be useful. Or off-world storage. A little bit more further into colonization, I don't know. I think I'm gonna go with plasma rocketry actually on this one. Yeah, by the way guys, we're coming up to the end of the episode. I think I'm gonna call it here. Please do like if you like the episode, and for more KSC content hit that subscribe button. More missions will be coming soon. Once again, thank you very much for watching. This is GrunfWorks signing off.